Hey everyone, welcome to Learn to Crochet with Creative Keel. My name is Nia, and let's get started with our size H hook and 100% cotton yarn. Doesn't matter if you use Lily's Sugar and Cream or Crafter's Secret, but make sure you have 60 yards of it. Getting into our slip knot, wrap your yarn once around 2 fingers, pull the long piece of yarn through the back of your fingers under the loop to create the slip knot. If you can pull the smaller piece to make your loop decrease in size, then pull it out and try again, because that's not the right way to do it. We want to make sure we can pull that longer piece to decrease the size of our loop and get it over the flat piece in the middle of our H hook to create our gauge. Now let's get into our foundation chain by yarning over and pulling through that beginning loop. We're going to do this 31 times to create that foundation chain. I'm going to speed it up a little bit just to get ahead of the game. So here we go. Just a reminder, while I'm doing this, you can always stop this video and go back to check and make sure that you are doing everything correctly. Getting into row 1, now that we've reached the end of our foundation chain, let's put our hook in the second chain from the end to get that first row of single crochet going. Yarn over and pull through to create 2 loops on your hook, then yarn over again and pull through both to create your first single crochet. Now notice what I'm doing is I'm putting my hook in the top portion of that foundation chain, and it's just that one strand. So keep that in mind as you're moving along your foundation chain to get through your first row of single crochet. Now that we've reached the end of row 1, we're going to yarn over and pull through to create chain 1 and turn our work. Moving on to row 2, we are going to insert our hook into that last single crochet that you did, yarn over and pull through to create 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through to create your first single crochet of row 2. Now, if you are doing your single crochets correctly, it should start to look like this, all the way through the end of row 2. Now, if you notice, row 3 is essentially the same thing as row 2. Oh, there we are. Except for the fact that at the end of row 3, you are doing a chain 2 instead of chain 1. So here we go, 1, 2. Now let's turn our work and get started on row 4. Row 4 gets us into the double crochet, which we yarn over first before inserting our hook into that last single crochet that you did. Yarn over again to pull through and create 3 loops on our hook. Now we will yarn over again and pull through the first 2 loops to leave only 2 loops on our hook. Now we're going to yarn over again and pull through the last 2 to finish off our double crochet stitch. Let's break that down one more time. So we're going to yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through for 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 more to create your double crochet. Continue the double crochet stitch in each individual single crochet stitch of your previous row. Yay! We made it to the end of row 4. So now after you've finished that last double crochet, we are going to yarn over and chain 1. Turn our work, and we are going to jump right into rows 5 and 6. Now this is going to be single crochets all the way across, so insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through again to create that first single crochet. Continue with single crochets all the way across that last row of double crochets. Remember, you should have 30 stitches by the end of each row. Once you get done with row 5, chain 1, turn, and do it all over again to create your 5th and 6th row. Now this is technically where we start the repeat of our pattern. If you look at your work though, it looks like we're already halfway into the repeat. Not to worry, trust the process and definitely trust your eyes and hands. Remember, you're learning a series of movements to create something beautiful, and it just takes practice. This is what your work should look like after you've done the repeat of row 3 through 6 for the first time. Now here's a little counting secret. If you count from below your last double crochet row, 3, 4, 5, and 6, notice the most eye-dominating stitch is the double crochet row. Now if you look at the pattern, the double crochet row is the 4th row, right? So that means you just have to do 2 more rows of single crochets to finish the repeat, yeah? Once you finish these last 2 single crochet rows, go back and count your double crochet rows to determine which number of repeats you are on. After your second repeat, you're going to really start noticing a trend here of 3 double crochets within the washcloth pattern. See it? Now that you've finished rows 7 through 26, you should have 6 double crochets that are noticeable within your washcloth pattern, with 2 single crochet rows above it. Don't forget we have 1 more single crochet row to actually finish the real repeat of the pattern. So chain 1, turn your work, and let's get started on row 27. Insert your hook into that last single crochet, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops to create your single crochet. Now remember, if you need a better breakdown, go ahead and stop the video and go back to the beginning. Now that we have finished our last row, this begins the border of our washcloth. You will only be doing single crochets along 3 sides of your work because you just did 1 side. To start the border down the left side, I like to do a chain 1 first because this allows the yarn to relax and not pucker in the corners. From here, we are going to insert our hook into the same spot where you just did your last single crochet and do another single crochet. You can look at the corner and see that nice little round edge we created. From here, you are going to insert your hook into the next visible hole you created. Now some borders are tricky due to there being a set amount of stitches that are called for in the pattern, but in this case we are just making a clean edge for our washcloth. So we are going to continue to single crochet in each consecutive hole down the side of our washcloth. It should start to look a little something like this. Now I'm going to continue to work down this side and meet you at the corner. This is what your side should look like when you are done. Now, it may look a little lumpy, but not to worry, I will have a separate video on blocking to help with that. Now we are going to get into the border along our foundation chain. This will be worked a little differently than the side we just did, but we are going to turn our corner again, so do a chain 1, then do a single crochet in the same hole you did your last single crochet in. We are also going to hide our tail within the border by laying it flat against our foundation chain and working it into our single crochet. Insert your hook right underneath the 2 strands of your foundation chain to start your single crochet border. Continue to keep that tail against your foundation chain as you do your single crochets down the bottom of your work. Once you've reached the end of your tail, continue doing single crochets all the way down to your corner. Once we've reached our corner, we are going to repeat what you've been doing here. Chain 1, single crochet in the same hole. Now repeat what you did for your first side by inserting your hook in the next open hole and single crochet. Repeat this down the last side of your washcloth. Congratulations, you've made it to the end. Now chain 1 and let's bind off our work with a slip stitch. Insert your hook into that first single crochet, yarn over and pull through. Now take that loop and pull through the loop that's already on your hook. Now let's back up so you can see better. Pull your hook so that you make your loop bigger and cut the middle of your loop to give you a tail. Pull the small tail to ensure a snug bind off. Now we are going to weave the tail back into our work by taking our hook and weaving the tail forward and back through the border of our single crochet. Once we've woven in about 2 inches, go ahead and flip your piece over and snip the last little bit of tail that you have. And voila! We now have a washcloth. If you like this tutorial, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to receive updates of when new tutorials drop. If you have any questions, please comment below and I will be happy to answer them. Thank you for watching and learning with Creative Keel.